Summer's here, everybody, and I'm personally very excited. As a Southerner now living in New England, I can tell you summertime is my favorite time, especially after the winter we just had. Just last Friday, June 21st, that was the beginning of the season. And as a child, I used to look forward to that date. It was an opportunity for me to run around, play, work on my jump shot, maybe learn how to swim, find new adventures. Now, my parents knew that too much free time for me was not good for me and for them. Sorry, my own technical difficulties here. My finger's not fast enough. So my parents always managed to find ways to keep me engaged and educated during the summer. At times, this meant classes, camps, workshops. Other moments, it was special projects with Dad. I personally think that they call that home improvement with free child labor. But maybe it was a way for them to introduce me to STEM and project-based learning. But there was always something to do. I read books, built things. Through summer travel, I was exposed to different cultures. I got to practice the languages that I was expected to master: Spanish, English, Catalan, French. By the way, my French is comme ci, comme ça. I have to admit that summer always felt busier than school, but it was always fun. My parents knew that I was in between school years and my learning and education needed to continue. I consider myself fortunate for having had those summer experiences. As a young adult, summer became a time for work and internships. It was about getting exposure and gaining experience that would be useful in my future. I became an educator after college, and those off months of June, July, and August were filled with professional development sessions, working with youth programs. Again, it was about continuing to use that time for personal improvement. And though there was plenty of downtime needed for resting and reflection, I always felt fulfilled when I had accomplished something during my break. Summertime is an important developmental opportunity for children. I'm already planning for future summers how they will be spent with my son. Now, he's only 3 months old. My wife, bless her. However, I know there are millions of children that summertime simply means time off without opportunities to stimulate their brains, exercise their bodies, or help them overcome an achievement gap that may already be affecting their in-school performance. The National Summer Learning Association estimates that between 8 to 10 million low-income school-age children across the country lack access to engaging, enriching educational opportunities each summer. For those children, it means a quarter of their year is underutilized. The organization that I work for, Horizons National, has been working to address the summer programming need for over 50 years through creative partnerships between public schools, universities, and independent schools. We're even expanding our outreach in Atlanta. And on the first day of summer, again, June 21st this year, we celebrated National Summer Learning Day to recognize the efforts of programs and many others like Horizons that address summer learning loss. Summertime is special. It is an opportunity to engage children in a way to invite them to be inquisitive, to use project-based and thematic practices to stimulate curiosity, to hone academic skills, and most importantly, to help foster that love of learning that will help them attend and succeed in school. Summertime has to be a part of the educational equation for children, especially those less fortunate. I would like now to introduce a friend of mine, Brian Williams from NBC News, who's going to tell you a little bit more about these summer effects of children in poverty. Take it away, Brian. Always wanted to say that.
Let's look at two children, one from a middle-income family, the other from one of the millions of low-income American families. As the two kids head off to kindergarten, look what happens. The middle-income child starts out with a 6-month lead. The low-income child is already falling behind because of a lack of access to early reading and preschool education. During their year in kindergarten, in the same school and classroom, the two children will learn at about the same rate, so we'll move them both forward 9 months. But look what happens in that first summer between kindergarten and first grade. Our middle-income child moves ahead about a month in reading because learning of one kind or another continues over the summer. The low-income child falls back about 2 months. So when school begins again, when they go back for first grade, the gap between them has already widened. During first grade, again, they move ahead at about the same rate, another 9 months. That next summer, the activities and lifestyle of the middle-income family keep that child moving forward, but the low-income child has fewer opportunities to reinforce good habits like reading, and that child falls farther behind. Then we come to second grade, and again our two children learn at the same rate. But the summer after second grade sets our low-income child back again, and our middle-income child moves forward again, and the gap widens again. By just the third grade, the two children are already far apart. By the end of fifth grade, the gap between the children is 2.5 to 3 years. It will keep growing through middle school. So you see, without addressing what's happening during the summer, it is impossible to ever catch up. It's impossible to close the gap. No matter how much high-quality learning goes on from September to June, every year the gap widens.